This is probably the most hyped I have been for a Nintendo Direct in a long time because there are some outstanding rumors of some big RPGs that are going to be coming to this Direct or announced this year. Now, Nintendo always has multiple Directs in the year, so you can never really kind of pinpoint exactly when they're going to announce certain games or have certain things. But from all accounts, it does seem at least one of the golden trio for me of RPGs, or more like the duo, I guess, of Xenoblade and Fire Emblem is going to be at this Nintendo Direct. If Nintendo announces a brand new Fire Emblem game or new Fire Emblem games, that is going to be extremely hyped, and you're going to see me go crazy and react a certain way that maybe you haven't seen in quite some time. If there's a brand new Xenoblade game, man, that is going to be nuts. There has been so many rumors, there has been predictions, there has been just so much stuff on either one of these. What if there's another RPG from the Golden Sun, right? What if there's another RPG from one of Nintendo's past games out there? Like, there can be all sorts of things. But as a super RPG fan, and of course as a big Fire Emblem and Xenoblade fan, these are like the two games that everyone's been wanting to see for the past number of years. Fire Emblem Three Houses is 3 years old this year. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is 5 years old this year. So it is time to get some new games in both of these series. Now, of course, if you want to watch the show, I will be streaming it right here live on PlayerEssence. We'll be going live a couple hours before the show. So make sure you check out the time zone calculator, where you live and what time it is if you're overseas. East Coast, West Coast, Central Time. If you're in Hawaii, it's 2 p.m. PT West Coast time or California, and it's 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So just make sure that you plan accordingly. Now, I'll be streaming a couple hours beforehand to get you guys hyped because I have heard, okay, the birdie has told me, the little birdie has told me that Fire Emblem should be there. And there's enough rumors that are going around to just say, yeah, Fire Emblem seems to be a lock. Xenoblade is more of a maybe, not so much maybe, but it could be. But man, if these two were here, and if, like I said, if they were able to get a Golden Sun in there, I'm already 10 out of 10. Like, if they have Fire Emblem, 9.5 out of 10. If they have Xenoblade, 40 out of 10. You know, if they have Golden Sun, Xenoblade, and Fire Emblem, there's no way that's happening. But if it does happen, if this video ends up being, oh my gosh, he actually said that it might happen, but it wouldn't happen. But if it actually does happen, goodness gracious, that will be like the GOAT. Nintendo, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, they're the masters of hype. Nobody gets this excited. When it comes to the gaming industry, nobody gets more hyped. The fans don't get more hyped than a Nintendo Direct. Heck, even if you don't end up seeing what you want to see, yeah, there's people that are mad and angry and go online on Twitter, but for the most part, Nintendo Directs are so fun. The setup, the anticipation, the hype, the build-up, the new games, the announcements, it's just something that's just hype. The last one, I wasn't able to live react or live stream the way that I wanted to because I was overseas. But this time, I'm here and ready to go. So it's going to be a packed, jam-packed live stream. It's just going to be incredible. Remember, guys, for those who didn't make it to my live stream yesterday, or if you haven't heard me on Twitter, I will be giving away. Now, this is like the master of hype, right? Nintendo's the master of hype, but I can also hype things up too. If they announce a new Fire Emblem game, I will be giving away a copy of that Fire Emblem game per a game announced. So if there's 3 games announced, I'll be giving away multiple ones at certain times, okay? During the stream too. Some of them during the stream, some of them after, once we get more information on the game. So you're gonna wanna watch it here because that's gonna be hype. You're gonna wanna say, okay, I wanna win a copy of Fire Emblem. Also, if they announce Xenoblade, I'll be giving away multiple copies of that game when it does get announced. And if they announce Golden Sun, once again, giveaways. So we're doing giveaways, we're doing hype, we're getting ready for the RPGs that Nintendo's going to be dropping. But I have to ask this question again, and I'll say it, the masters of hype. Like, who can make presentations to where you get this excited about what's going on, about what they're going to do? Don't get me wrong, the industry is fantastic. There's great stuff, state of play that can be fun. They also have like the PlayStation conferences or like the PlayStation stuff that they do as well outside of state of play. They have the presentations that they do. Xbox has their stuff, but it just seems like there is no greater hype, especially with the Nintendo Switch riding higher than any other Nintendo system in the modern social media era and all of that. This is like 2012 and up, Twitter and all that. There is no system that has been able to bring this many tweets, this much hype, this much stuff in anticipation for a presentation like the originators with the Nintendo Direct. And that's why I'm so excited to just be talking about Xenoblade and talking about Fire Emblem, and talking about Golden Sun and what could be coming for Nintendo. I mean, a lot of you guys have predicted some good stuff, and I actually had a video yesterday where I talked about some things, and I wanted to go over a couple more things. So everyone's been asking me about Persona or Atlas announcements at this Nintendo Direct. What about Shin Megami Tensei 4? What about a new Shin Megami Tensei? Probably not. That game just came out with SMT5. Make sure you go check it out. It's really good. Persona 4, Persona 3, Persona 5. Could we get something there at this Direct? And yes, I do think it's possible that we get a Persona 3 or Persona 4 announcement. Now, there's been no rumors that I've heard whatsoever about Persona 5 on the Nintendo Switch outside of some stuff that I heard a while back, but that could have easily been Persona 5 Strikers. But I haven't heard anything since then. And I did do a predictions video last year about the Persona 25th anniversary, and one of the things was Persona 5 Royal on the Nintendo Switch and Persona 4 Golden on the Nintendo Switch. But then we got some more information about Persona 4 Golden and the rumors that started happening, and it makes me believe that Persona 4 Golden Nintendo Switch could happen at this show. Like, it makes me believe that just because of the rumors that we've gotten before, just because Atlas might have already leaked the game themselves on their website, which I covered on my channel too, so you guys can check out that if you want more information. So something tells me that that might just happen there. Now, for those that are wondering why I'm so sure about Fire Emblem, and then we'll get into Xenoblade last, the reason why is because there's been multiple rumors. We've had multiple credible sources also come out and say Fire Emblem is a thing, that there could be multiple games, and it's going to be impressive. So that's what I want to see out of this. Like, Fire Emblem is like my main thing. If Xenoblade's not there, I'm not going to be too upset or anything like that, or be too mad, just because I think that they have E3, and I think that they have also the Fall Direct to really talk about Xenoblade, especially if the rumors were true about Xenoblade needing a bit of more tinkering to show off, or before it was ready. I guess they had it last year, but maybe they wanted to hold off just a little bit more and get it actually ready when it comes down to it, and that's fine by me. So I have no issue with that. But for me, Fire Emblem is one of those games we always get those announcements every 3 years or so. So I just want to see that next big Fire Emblem game. And I think that the last Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem Three Houses, while it was a spectacular game, gameplay-wise, and the character models, and some of the special effects, and the anime scenes, and the sound, and all that was really good. I think that there's a lot more room to be done when it comes to the graphical presentation of the game, and it looks and it seems like this game is going to be fixing those issues that Fire Emblem Three Houses had. Now, the game still ran clean when it comes down to it, for the most part, some dips here and there, but it's still a overall clean looking game with 1080p in terms of resolution and all that. Just some of the environmental detail necessarily wasn't the best in all areas. So I'm really hoping that Fire Emblem takes that real next step as the second game on the Nintendo Switch, not including Fire Emblem Warriors, as the second mainline game in there on the Switch system. I think that they can do a lot more, even with the aging Nintendo Switch hardware. There's still more to be done there, so I'm really looking forward to hopefully seeing Fire Emblem, but I've heard so much myself. There's been other rumors, people have talked about it. I mean, it has to happen. It has to happen, so that's definitely going to be hype. And I'm going to have the reaction ready. I have a brand new reaction set up for you guys. So even if you can't catch it live and you want to see my reaction to whatever games are announced, all the big games that are announced from the Direct, I'll have it right here on the channel clipped, ready to go for you guys as well. So that should be hype. Now, the next thing, guys, I want to talk about, and that is Xenoblade. Obviously, Golden Sun, I mean, we can't really discuss that too much because we have one little rumor about Golden Sun, so that's like whatever. If it's there, I'm gonna get blown away out of my chair like I was like with the Legends of Mana, or not Legends of Mana, as I was with Trials of Mana. Man, I was blown away when that game was announced. I was like, no way. Like, Mana, I grew up with that series. It's one of my favorite all time, so I was like, yo, that's super hype. So that's kind of like what would happen almost with Golden Sun if that was announced. But Xenoblade. Now, if Xenoblade gets announced, expect a reaction like no other. Expect something, because although I know that it's a thing and they're developing it and there's something, Monolith Soft is like my favorite developer, and the Xenoblade games are just so legendary. They're just so epic. So if they were able to do something when it comes to Xenoblade, and they announced the next Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I've been waiting for quite some time. We don't get these games. This isn't Call of Duty, okay? This isn't Call of Duty or some other type of cheap RPG or anything like that. They come every number of years, right? 4 or 5 years. That's when we're getting Xenoblade. So if they do it here, this is going to be incredible. Now, what we've heard about it in terms of rumors, that one, it's one of the most impressive, if not the most impressive open-ended game on the Nintendo Switch. So that's what I'm hearing as well with some of the rumors, that it's going to be in the same vein when it comes to characters, maybe with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or Xenoblade Chronicles, that there might be some returning characters from a previous Xenoblade game. Now, that isn't 100% or anything, guys. That's just something that was out there. So really good looking on the presentation wise. And then also with the characters, there could be another character or a character. I think Melia was the actual character that was in question, because she was doing some voice work and she talked about potentially doing a new game. So yeah, it does seem like that could be it, but I'm just not sure if it's going to be at this direct. But I'm predicting that it will be, so if I'm right, that's cool. But if I'm not, I can say, hey, well, I wasn't 100%. So there you go on that one. But also, the big thing with this game, to me, where it takes the next step, like Fire Emblem took that next step, getting to 3 million plus, I think that the combat, that is going to be, oh my gosh, the central focus. If they show gameplay, what is the combat going to be like? Is it going to be like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, like 1, like how they usually have that auto battling system, then doing arts to kind of stack up on top of that, and then a unique system built around each game, whether it's with mechs or with the first game, which is more of like a traditional RPG. The Xenoblade Chronicles 2 had the blades, then Torna had the blades, but also the Vanguard switching system. What are they going to do with it? I'm guessing that it's going to be more in line with an action RPG with some other auto battling elements, and then also combine that with a whole new system around it. So it's going to feel fresh. It's going to feel new. It's not going to feel like the previous Xenoblade games. That's what I'm guessing. I could be completely wrong. It could be a sequel to maybe Xenoblade Chronicles X, which I don't think it's going to be that. I mean, and a lot of you guys have been asking about Xenoblade Chronicles X, which I think that that could be happening too. There was some more rumors that came out recently that there will be more Wii U ports, and that's one of the few Wii U games left to port over, Star Fox, and also with Xenoblade Chronicles X, and there's probably a few more that I'm missing there, but you guys get the picture. So it does seem, okay, it does seem like that could be the case here. So, man, I am excited. Honestly, I'm super, super excited to talk Xenoblade. I'm super excited to talk stuff. Hopefully, we see that. That might be the one more thing, although they've used Xenoblade quite a number of times for the one more thing. So that could be it. I don't know if Fire Emblem would be the one more thing. Not really sure. Nintendo did state that this is games for the first half of 2022 or one half of 2022, but they always show a few more things outside of that. Now, once again, if you want my full predictions outside of the RPGs and me nerding out and hyping up that, check out my video that I did yesterday. I have a predictions video that I did yesterday talking about Splatoon and talking about other stuff that we could see. I just wanted to go over the 4 horsemen of the RPG apocalypse with Persona, Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, and Golden Sun if we get something from those. And I'm pretty sure there's other RPGs that you guys want to see on there from third party or even a first party standpoint from Nintendo. But man, I would be very satisfied if those 4 showed up. That's like the greatest direct ever, right? If those 4 show up on top of everything else. So it should be a lot of fun. But what are your thoughts? What are your RPG predictions? What do you feel is going to happen here? How do you feel about the hype heading into this one? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.